Hello guys, and welcome to a new tutorial about GTK scale. And today we are going to learn new functions, and today we are going to learn another way which we are going to create our scale. How about if you don't want to create a scale with an adjustment? Then there's a second option for you, which is called GTK scale new with range. And of course we are going to see what's the story with these functions. Okay, so basically we are going right here and we are going to see, and says it is a function which takes 4 parameters and returns a widget. Says creates a new scale widget with the given orientation that lets the user input a number between min and max, so something like low value and upper value, including min and max of course, with the increment step must be non-zero. It's the distance the slider moves when using the arrow keys to adjust the scale value. Okay, now let us see. Note that the way in which the precision is derived works best if step is power of 10. If the resulting precision is not suitable for your needs, use GtkScale digit to correct it. Okay, so basically it takes 4 parameters. So this means this function, its first argument, it is the scales orientation, the minimum, the maximum, and the step. Okay, let us call this function. So basically we are going to comment out the adjustment. We don't need it now, and of course we are going to create a new scale. I'm calling this time GTK scale new with range, and the first parameter, as you already noticed, it is the orientation. The second one is the minimum, so 0.0, 0.0. The next one it is the max, let's say 10.0, and the last one it is a step, which will be 1.0. Now let us compile it and run it, and of course we need a semicolon. And now, as you can see, we have this nice thing which already created adjustment and works fine without no problem. Basically what it changed to this one, it is because now we have basically created through with the help of range and not with an adjustment directly. So we didn't need we don't need adjustment anymore. Okay, next thing, we are done with this part. GTK scale has origin. This is very interesting. Let's see. Let's go back and has, no, not get, set. This function says if has origin is set to true, which is the default one, the scale will highlight the part of the through between the origin button or left side and the current value. So the parameters, the scale and the origin, because the Boolean is set to true, so we are going to set it to false. And okay, we need first things first. Setting up the origin. So we need our scale. We can copy all these things right here. Okay, and pass it to false. Uncompile it and run it. and the program looks fine. Now I'm going to move the slider. So where's the difference? You notice? You notice where the difference? No, of course, some of you maybe, some of you don't. Let's set it back to true. Now imagine yourself like this. This is the scale, so this is let's say a progress bar. Now when I move this button right here, which when I click on it, as you can see, it becomes green. When I move the button to the middle or wherever, as you can see, you see this bar right here, it is green. So basically where I move the button, after I stop moving it until that position, it will be this, let's say, progress highlight as green. So this behavior happens because the origin was set, or it is set to true as default. But if you don't like that origin, you can set it to false. You see, now when I'm moving this thing here, we have no color anymore. So this means that at this moment the scale, it will not highlight the part of the through between the origin and the current value. So basically this is what this function does. It set its origin by saying it let me have my scale button without any color on it. Okay, that being said, we are done with this function too, because we don't need it. So now I'm going to mark it as done. And now, what's the story with GtkScale add mark? Let us see. Okay, and it is right here and says it is a function which has 4 parameters and says add returns a void, of course, adds a mark at value. You know what marks are, where you are marking something to indicate a position. So a mark is indicated visually by drawing a tick mark next to the scale, and the GTK plus make it easy for the user to position the scale exactly at the marks. Okay, so if markup is not null, text is shown next to the tick marks. Okay, to remove mark, okay, clear marks. So I don't know how much you understood for this. No problem. We are going to go all the way through these things. So basically we are going to say now adding marks, and we are going to call this function. The first one is our scale. The second one after our scale, it said it was a value. So what kind of value? Let us use a random one. If it's random, we'll see in a moment. 5. Now the next one, it is the position. So we have position. Of course we have. We talked about that in the last tutorial and the last a lot of tutorials. So what this means? Okay, we are going to see in a second. Let's take the button position, throw it right here, and the last one, it is our mark. So definitely it's not the word mark, isn't it? Or markup, isn't it? No, it's not. What's the story with this word? What's the story with markup? Says text to be shown at the mark using Pango, markup, or null. We can basically use this word, but no, we are going to use markups because that's why are there. So let us go back to our documentation. Let's search about markup. Let's see what we can find. And Pango. You remember Pango? Of course you do. We are talking about Pango. So basically Pango means the way how you can style something through something which basically you are doing now with GTK3. But okay, what this means, well, let's say we have a lot of things here. We have a lot of, no, I'm not interested. Let us copy just this part right here. No, not so much, not just the span one. I think we should have the Pango marker language. There you go. Now it's fine. This is what we need. So you know already the Pango marker language. We talk about it, and if not, go back to my other tutorials again and see where we are talking about them. But we're going to talk a little bit. The Pango markup language is very simple HTML-like language that allows you specify attributes with the text they are applied to by using a small set of markups. So basically, in our case now, what I'm trying to say is that we can set some colors or some backgrounds or some size and so on. Okay, so basically I'm going to copy this part here and I'm going to throw it right here, and I'm going to say color, let us set it to red, foreground blue. No, we are not going to use this, we don't need it. Maybe background, maybe background size not 100, let's say small. It looks better to me. Okay, let us compile it and see what happens. It says expected something, so this means we have a problem. Where is the problem? Let's see. This one is here, this one is here. It is fine. Now span color red. Okay, here we have a space which should not be there, and I think we are done. And let us say 5. I'm going to put a 5 here. It's not just a random number now, it is the number which I choose here, okay, to the value. Let us compile and see why the problem is again. We still have a problem. Background blue. Yeah, I hate this double quotes. It should work, sometimes not, whatever, what the heck. I'm gonna change them to single quotes, okay. So that being said, let's see what we can still make changes to this one. I got a okay, I hate phones sometimes. So I'm going to compile it and run it again, and we still have a problem. It says error line 1 is not a valid character. Which one is? Now you know what, I'm going to drop all this thing now, because somehow it doesn't want to. So let's see, we have a span which is right here, and then we are closing it right here. Here, there you go. This part it's missing. And now, as you can see, we have something here which is not easy to check it right now, but it's there. You see this 5 right here. So this means it is a position of 5, where if you want to find where is the position between 0 and 10, you can search for the middle one, or you can go through the mark which you set it right there, 5. So basically this thing does here. Now there is something which I don't understand, because it should change its color to red, but it doesn't. Strange. Why it's not changing its color? Let's copy the background for a moment. Blue. It should be red, but it's not. I'll have to investigate to see why it's not changing, because it should change. I mean, it should be red, or at least this is what I thought. But I see now that the background also is not working, and I'm not sure why. Let us use double quotes. It doesn't like double quotes. Whatever. Okay, so now we saw what this thing does. Let us make something much more funny. 1 2 3 4 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 6 7 8 9 and 10. Let us compile it. And now our scale looks beautiful. Let us put a null also right here, the 0, to be much more beautiful. And now watch. Now we have not just our scale, but we have also these nice marks right here. So basically these kind of marks help us to go to position where we need more precisely without searching for it. So if I want to go to 2, I go right here and it is bang, directly 2. Okay, so these are the marks which shows you not where you go, but shows you also where you are. Because if, for example, you don't need a value, you are not interested in exactly position, maybe just something which you can guess between, then we just drop the value now, and now as you can see we know where our scale it is. So basically now it is between 6 and 7, 6.5 or something like this, and we know where this position is. Okay, so basically this is what GTKScale add mark does. Okay, let's move on to the next one, and the next one it is GTKScale clear marks. Clear marks means once that we create something we can clear it, isn't it? Let's see what the manual says. We don't need this thing anymore, this one not. And we are going to scale clear marks. Says removes any marks that have been added with GTKScale marks. Okay, that being said, clear marks, and we are going to clear our GTKScale from those beautiful marks which we just create them. Let's see. We have no marks anymore, nothing. So basically this function just killed everything which we were setting, and this happens only if you call it, of course, after you create all those marks, because now I just call it after we create the first 5 from 0 to 4, and we have the other ones still here. So basically just remember when you call this function where you call it. Okay, I'm going to comment it out because I don't want to kill them. Now let us see the last function for today, which is scale get layout. You should already know what layout means, and you should already know what how you can handle this, because these layouts you have them in all or almost all widgets. And let us see. This function says it is a function which returns Pango layout pointer, and takes its parameter as the scale and says gets the Pango layout used to display the scale. Okay, so the returned object is owned by the scale, so does not need to be freed by the color. This means returns the Pango layout of the scale or not if the driver property is set to false. So because this one returns null, because the value is set to false, we are going to set our value fast back to true, and now we can use this function. What? Let us get layout. So basically this function says needs a pointer of Pango layout, so let us create one. Layout. Okay, and now we need a function and of course the scale itself. So now we got it works. So this means we set our function and we called our function and we save it in this layout pointer. We are going to compile it and we can use it. No, we're not. Of course we're not, because what's so funny with this? I mean, why do we need this? Well, one possible way will be, I know, let us go this time to Pango layout, which is the next thing which let us to set some things, some color, wrap, or you remember this story with Pango. Anyway, whoa, there's a lot of story here. So this is the Pango layout. So basically this means this function high level layout driver object. The screen says while complete access to layout capability of Pango, it provides using the detailed interface for itemization and shaping using that functionality directly involved within a fairly large amount of code. Oh, okay, so it is a little bit too much. This means we are going to I know. Let us see this function right here. Just a random function. So this function is a Pango layout get character count. Okay, so it says returns a int. So we are going to do the same thing. Int len or convert, and then we are going to pass this time our layout, which we just created, because once that we got it, we need, so g print ret. It is now, so let's see, ret. Let us compile it and run it, and we have a problem. And the problem is because we forgot the specifier, which is d, and we still have a problem. What? Red undeclared. Why I said red? Red. So it says 5. Now this is a good thing. What means this 5 right here? I mean, we have a lot of bunch of things here. We have one here, we have one here, whatever. What this means 5? Well, this 5 means how many characters you have here, values. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and it says 5. No, why? Well, because here are not 4, are 5, because you need to count the comma too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if I'm right. Let us go back to our digits and set them this time to 5. So basically, if I'm right, now we should need the value plus comma plus 5. It should be 7, isn't it? Of course it is. It is 7 because we have our 5 digits, the comma, and the 0 which is in the front, or the value which is in front. So basically This means if I go up to 10, wait, if I go up to 10 it should change to 8, so basically it should be 8 right here. How can we know that thing? One thing will be GTK set range value. I forgot. GTK range set value. GTK range. We are not going to talk this, but I want to check something. Scale. So I put a value now of 10. Okay, guys. So I'm working out 10. I want to move the scale to 10 because I want to see that 8. Yes, it is 8. Red, it's equal to 8. Why? Because we have 10, which are 2 digits, with a comma are 3, and 3 with 5 are 8. 5 digits. So it works fine. So I had right. You saw we already used a function which we are not going to talk about them now, which is GTK range, and of course we said the scale it should be cast to GTK range, and because scale derives from the range, everything works fine. Now I'm going to talk about this. I want to show you. Anyway, let us move our digit back to let's say 2 of them. Now we found out how we can work with this function, which is Pango layout set markup. Okay, let us use this last function now. I don't know, this function says same as Pango layout set markup with accelerators. The story we don't interested, but the markup text isn't scanned for accelerators. We don't need accelerators. We don't talk about accelerators and their groups and those things right now. We have time for those things, but the parameters here are 3: the Pango layer, the marked up text, and the length. The length of marked up text in bytes, or -1 if markup is not terminal. Okay, so let us call this thing right here, and I'm going to we don't need this part here anymore, isn't it? So I'm going to comment it. I don't want to delete it. I want to have it just commented out. Now let us call this function, and this function says 3 parts. The first one is the layout. Okay, so layout. The second one is the markup. We are going to see what's the story with the markup, and the last one, it is the length. So if it's so, we are going to do something else. Const gchar const markup, it's equal to, we are not going to put something now, markup. So basically this is our markup, and of course the next one will be string. I'm going to call the string function on our markup, and of course we need to, because string returns an unsigned of s size. I think it's an unsigned integer. Okay, so we are going to cast it to int. Now how about with this markup? How about what we can pass here? So basically let us see if we are going to use this right here sorry, which didn't work. So we are saying background blue, color red, size small, and 0. What does this thing mean here? Let's see. Well, let's see what happens. Oh, for sure we have some changes. We have this 0 here, so it's changed. Wow, cool, isn't it? Okay, it is ugly, but it works. Let me remove the blue background because I don't like that. Run again, and now as you can see we got some changes here. These changes are happening and works fine. How about with this 0? What happens if you put 1 here? What happens if you put 5 here? Does those value that value with digits be changed? No, it's not. You see? So how can I change it? I mean, let's go to 10. Whoa, it is still only one thing here, but I want to change them all. How do I do that? Well, let's see. 1, it is 1, and then let's go up to our digits. We have 2 digits, so we are going to say 1.2 digits. Let's see what happens. Now we have it nice and clear. Whoa, almost nice. 10. Okay, so it works fine until 9.99, and then it stopped working. I mean, it's not, but the last 0 is not there. So basically, we can take care about that by working with functions like string-dup to duplicate a string, where we as printf functions where we can combine them if we get a number longer than 2. Let's see if I'm right. Let us pass here 5, and let us we are going to let only 2 digits here. So this means we have now 3 digits without color. And yes, I'm right. Okay, you see, we have those 3 digits without color. So this means if we are passing now 3 digits more, we just cover it. Yes, it works fine. So the fast way to fix 2 digits, go back to 2. The fast way to fix a problem like this, because you know we have 2 digits, this means this number here should be let's say the number plus 1 0 0 more at the end. What this means? Well, let's say the digits plus 1 0 more plus 1 digit more at the end. I don't know if it's a good explanation, I don't know if it's the right way, but what I'm trying to say is, if you have some digits here, let's say 3, then you put here 3 digits, 1 2 3 zeros, and then 1 more at the end to accomplish our problem with 10 when you reach the last one, where the first value changed to 2 digits. So basically now works fine. You see, that's it. There are the advantages and there are disadvantages of this. One thing which is good is, because if you are setting this thing like that, maybe if you have a CSS file and gets destroyed or something like that, you have no colors anymore of your text, of your values right there, but setting them with Pango, you still have your colors there. Okay, but we are working with CSS, we are not working with something like this. I just wanted to show you how it's working, and you are fine. Now let me show you one last thing. We said set digits to 3. Let me comment this part here, and now let us call this function after we create this markup and after we get the scale. What do you think it happens? As you can see, it's not working anymore. Okay, let's set the digits property to 3. G set object set digits, and we're going to say 3.0. No, because it takes a gent. What happens now? Oh no, we forgot to mark it as null. Sorry. I still have no pressing one digits. Yes, because we need a scale. I'm so fast sometimes that I'm doing some things without even thinking. You see, this thing still doesn't work. So no matter if you are setting your properties or if you are calling that functions, once that you set it, that this thing works. But if you call scale get layout and then you start to lay out your markup with Pango, then it's not working anymore. So remember, first things first, set your digits before and then your layout. Why I'm telling you this, why I'm showing you this, let us go back to the documentation. And the documentation said the Pango layout for this scale, it what returns or null if the drawing value property is set to false. Okay, I think I made a confusion, but because this one says about the draw value. Okay, so that being said, first thing first, these kind of things are not working the way we thought. Anyway, you saw where the problem is. You saw that you need to create those digits before you call these functions, and then you saw that it works fine. Okay, that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you like it, please subscribe, share with your friends and neighbors, and until next time, see you guys.